Okay, sorry guys, I haven't pressed recording. Maybe I should have. So I've pressed recording now. I'm doing the next one next Friday, and I'll be doing them. I'll be away in June, but I'll be doing those regularly. So um, you will hear from me on that. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for letting me know. Yes, we will be putting it on the YouTube. So I guess we will miss out on first 15 to 10 minutes. Okay, so we've talked about Fibonacci clusters for those because we only just started recording, and now we are still analyzing euro, and we are back to yes. So we are now on weekly. I'll quickly go because we just started recording. What I have done in here, I have looked at the all-time monthly chart. I've drawn a Fibonacci from the all-time low to all-time high and looked at the horizontals on that rather than just drawing horizontals, because a lot of people trade Fibonacci, and you look at the touches and you answer for yourself whether those lines are relevant or not. If you think they are relevant, then it's a valid Fibonacci for you. If you don't think they are relevant, that they are not. Everyone trades differently, okay? And I've drawn this this trend line in here and a little bit of a channel. So now when we go to weekly, you can equally draw a Fibonacci either from here to there, and we are looking at Fibonacci clusters now. So if you do that, you can see that your 50 Fibonacci matches, and your 78 is pretty close to 38, and your 23 to 68. So you can say we have a Fibonacci cluster here now, and I'll take that out because we don't need those double lines. And on weekly, I've drawn a trend line, and now we'll go to daily. So we've got our major horizontal lines, and we want to see what's happening in our price action in daily. Again, if we another Fibonacci, relevant Fibonacci for just most recent price action would be from here to there. Okay, I'll just blow that up a little bit for us. So the reason we just want to see, this is our phase one, and now it's looks like it's coming back. Before that, I should really draw a trend line, shouldn't I? Okay, this is a trend line. So if we just draw this Fibonacci, we can see that the price is actually almost retraced on this last phase one. It's almost retraced to 50, or we actually did have one cycle in here. So it's just something you guys can play at home. This is really the last phase one. From here to there, it hasn't quite. So let's see on this phase one where it's come back to. And you see it came exactly to 50, and it now potentially is going back up. So this is where you would be using those levels as potentially helping you or checking at your entry points, depending what strategy we are using. Okay, I will take that out for the moment. So just going in here, we can see that back in weekly, we are back to this trend line up here. As we zoom in on our daily price action, we can see it's done one cycle, then another quite big cycle, and it's almost at the trend line. And then it's formed a ring low in here. So this is potentially a good entry. We've got this 61.8 Fibonacci. However, as we've drawn those, see there is a lot of horizontals in here. We can't, if we draw this one, it's bounced back of the 50. So that's a strong point. Okay, strong horizontal level for us. When you do your homework, when you do your analysis, sorry, I didn't mean this one because I don't want it to be too big. What I also like doing, did I delete it? No, I just moved it, yeah, delete. what I do on the shorter time frame, I will just draw a little line like this and see you've got this horizontal that was a resistance. Now it's become support. And again, if we just go to this fib, hi Beata, can you please close the terminal window so the chart is bigger? Yeah, sure. Thank you, Stephen. Okay, so again, if we just go on that one last phase, you see that purple line I've drawn is exactly at your 50 Fibonacci in here. So you can see all those, how one way to draw horizontal levels is to draw the Fibonacci cluster, and from there you can zoom in and you can and see if they are respected. If they are respected, then they are valid. If they are not respected, they are not valid. So potentially we've got a very good entry in here. However, we know we've got the news. For those who don't like trading on the news, then we need to wait until tomorrow, Monday morning. If you would like to enter this now, you can enter this and just maybe a reduced trade size if you like. We know we've got this horizontal resistance here, and we've got this trend line here, so potentially the price might, if it goes up, we are looking for it to maybe come here and then it will either break through and continue, or it will bounce back. There is no it's possible that it won't go up. We never know what's going to happen. Another thing in here, sorry, how do you consider yesterday's high test bar? Well, it depends how you look at it. Let me just read the should yesterday's high test bar be of concern? Well, because we've got, it looks like the price is consolidating a little bit in here. You've got the high test bar, but you've got this bar as well, and you have the 61.8. So if you think, that's what I was going to say, that it's potentially we could be forming head and shoulder in here. That could be head, this would be shoulder. If this goes up and comes back down, it would form a second shoulder. So this would be your head. This would be your right shoulder. And if another shoulder is formed somewhere here, if it just goes up a little bit and then reverses, then that would be a sell signal. Obviously, it's a reversal pattern. So we don't really know. Yes, because of this and because of the news, we know why this happened, because there was a bit of uncertainty on the market. So the price could just go sideways because of it's stuck between the 50 and the 61.8. So if you are aggressive, you could enter that trade. If you're less aggressive, just wait and see. That is a very valid move. The price hasn't fully come back to this trend line, so it might well come to this trend line and then make a move up and or down. Okay, so let's leave euro for now, and let's go. Thanks for that explanation. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. Let's go to pound. Okay, I have again what I do. I go to the monthly. I'll go to the monthly, and you can see there was, I have drawn, the way you draw Fibonacci, you always draw from left to right, okay? So, excuse me. So I drew Fibonacci from this high point to the low point in here, and that's your highest time frame Fibonacci. And again, it may be valid and it may not be valid, and you see whether this price has been respected or not. In euro, we saw there was quite a lot of validity in here. This 23, that's a pretty strong horizontal. In here, I've added another horizontal. You can draw whatever you want, really. So here, most of the action is up there, so it's not really that relevant for us. Okay, so we will go to weekly. We will go to weekly, and in weekly we can see that as of the last 12 months, the price has been in huge downtrend, and then it reversed back. I'll just blow that up a little bit. So what I would do in here, I would draw another Fibonacci from here to there, and see whether our Fibonacci's give us a cluster. If we just, they are not really matching, right? So what I'll do, I will take this one out, because for this currency pair, this is not really that relevant. This one is more relevant. I always just keep whatever minimum lines I need to have. In eSignal, we used to be able to adjust that easier. Here, not so. But anyway, so we can see that we've drawn horizontal in here. There's a lot of different horizontals you can draw. I usually just focus around the latest price action to draw them. I notice you have third-party MACD indicators. Yes, it's actually not the third-party MACD. If you have capital index, we are talking about MACD now. If you have capital index and smart charts, if you go to insert and indicators and go to customs, you will find MACD true. Where is it? MACD true. That's the one you want. If you don't have smart charts, if you only have got capital index, that does not have, that only has got the MACD with one line. But MACD true, you will find if you've got smart charts. I know. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully that has answered that question. Okay, so back to this. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Richard. Grant sent out. That's right. Yes. Yeah. Thanks, Carol. Yeah, Grant is an expert in MACD. Okay, so back to our pound. We see the pound has been in a very strong upturn since mid-March, and it actually here it broke this peak, so we can assume that hopefully it will continue up. Well, we can't assume that, but it's on a strong uptrend. Okay, now if we go to daily, right, and we draw this trend line, we can see that the price action has been cycling very nicely, and in here it's sort of formed the ring low, but this bar wouldn't trigger, but this one would trigger. So depending on what your risk profile is, you've got your horizontal in here of 38. But what I would also do, I would draw a Fibonacci from here to there, just your daily short-term Fibonacci from this phase, and see where it bounced back. And you can from phase one, beginning of phase one, you see it's come back to 50 Fibonacci, and this one is actually matching with that, so we get a little Fibonacci cluster. So this is potentially a good entry. However, we've got this strong horizontal up here, so we don't know whether it will there is not that much room to move up here. Unfortunately, with the pound tends to have a lot of horizontal levels, so we need to deal with that the best we can. Yeah, but this is potentially a good, although this is a large bar. It's better to enter on smaller bars, because if you enter on the large bar, for your reward to risk, you need to, this would be your, whether you enter 5 pips above and your stop loss 5 below or 10 below, you would have to make a lot of ground um, to have your reward to risk of 2 or 3, whatever you are after, or 1. It depends what your trading profile is. MACD is very bullish, so we are, and there is MACD convergence, as we can see here, so it's still a good, potentially a good trade. Yeah, we are bullish on the pound. I wanted to cover pound JPY because there's something interesting in here for those who like patterns. So, and yeah, so if we go to monthly, okay, I go to monthly, I go to the beginning of 1993, so that gives you like almost 30 years. Again, looking for horizontal levels. I will draw the, to start with, I'll draw this Fibonacci and see whether it's been respected. Draw the all-time Fibonacci, see it's been, whether it's, how many touches it's had. There's quite a few touches in here. Then there is quite a lot of touches in here. Historically, you can see on this one, at the moment, our most recent price action has been dancing around this, and there is quite a lot of touches back in history. 61.8, you can see quite a lot of touches. So, as I said before, the reason you see that is because a lot of traders actually trade Fibonacci levels. So yeah, so we had that, and now we are in a very strong upturn and have been for quite some time. We go to weekly. We draw a trend line from here to there. Let's say that we can see 2 touches, and then the price action came back to it, broke through, but this is not a valid breakthrough because only one bar well, this is in weekly anyway. So we've got a couple of cycles, and that the price came up. So in weeklies on phase 1 up. If we go to daily, sorry. Yeah, we go to daily. We have the, let me just see if I can, okay, that's better. All right. So the price has been cycling, and now from this point we see quite a strong uptrend. We will draw a trend line here. If we draw a trend line on daily like this, we see the price, it's not really, well, it hasn't come back to that, but the other way of analyzing it is using continuation patterns. And in here we can see very nice continuation patterns. How do we analyze that? These are called flags. You can see a flag in here, and you can see a flag in here. So the price has been going up. Then it's sort of, even in here you could see a little flag. Those patterns are in your manuals, so you can read them. So the price basically goes up, then sideways as a flag, then it goes up, and then it forms this. This is a very bearish formation. Then it goes strongly up, and then it goes sideways. And then you can see, I draw it quite roughly, but you can see it's been here at this point, and now it broke through it, and it's on the way up. So these are potentially subject to confirmation. Other confirmations you need. These are potentially good entry points. Now, just going back a little bit. Is that clear for everyone? How that? I just wanted to talk about GBP JPY. This trade has moved now, so it's broke through, but the continuation patterns are very relevant on very strong when there are strong moves on uptrend or downtrend. There is actually another one, quite strong one I can show you. Yes, it's clear. Okay, good, thank you. There was AUD New Zealand. Okay, I'll go to that. And in the last several days, you could see very strong move up, and you can also see those continuation patterns in here. You can see those flags, and they even in here. I know I draw it like this, but you can go through history and see when they've been strong and strong uptrends, like for example on yen, how that works and how you can draw it. You can even go to 4-hourly, but I won't do that at the moment. So what we've got in here now, we've got this formation like this, which is a beautiful flag, and it's very bullish formation. So potentially, it's worth looking at this. I haven't analyzed it in monthly for you yet. I will do that in the moment. But because before I go any further, you guys have got a checklist, so it's very important that you establish for yourself what strategy you are going to follow. So in the if it's a continuation, then you need to make a list of questions you are going to ask yourself. Of course, there is ring highs, ring lows. There are EMAs. I'll cover EMAs at another time. There are horizontal supports, which are, well, ring highs, ring lows are a must. The horizontal supports are a must. We've covered some of them. You can draw for yourself horizontal supports as many times as you want. It's just what you're looking for is the more touches, the more stronger horizontal support or resistance line is. Then we are also, the trend lines are extremely important. So the trend line, the reason we draw the trend line first is to establish what is the trend. And as you all know, I'm sure, the uptrend is when the price action is making higher highs or higher peaks and higher troughs, or and in other words, higher highs, higher lows. And it's when it's cycling. About the EMA, I don't want to cover basics at the moment, but so actually no, rather than drawing that, well, what I've drawn in here, you only had 2 touches, but the price, and it's come back to here, so it's making higher highs and higher lows, and that's higher. This high is higher than that, and this low this low is higher than that. I'm sure you know that, but I'm just going through that. So it's the horizontal supports, it's the your trend lines. Trend line supports are very important. Fibonacci's retracement, they go with horizontal. I mean, they are a great helpful tool for the Fibonacci. Obviously, for uptrend, you have to have a bullish price action. For a downtrend, you have to have bearish. Then, in addition to that, you can look at your. I'm just reading the checklist that was in the book. That's why I'm thinking about it. You look at your divergences. So if we are looking at MACD, we will see whether MACD is bullish or bearish, whether the blue line, MACD line, is above the zero line. So if it's above, both are above zero and the blue is above red, then it's very bullish. But these are all lagging indicators, right? The price action itself is the only one that's a leading indicator. So price action is the most important in all that. I won't talk about hidden divergence at the moment. These are your most important ones. Okay, let me just go to what is the prop checklist? I am new to platinum trading. Tina, you, if you have, you will need to discuss that with your coach, or if you come to the sessions here. There is one in May. Grant is taking one in May. I think, or if one in happened, I don't know. I'm taking the one in July because I'm away in June for a couple of weeks. But either ask your coach and discuss that in coaching session, or there is one in the manual, but you obviously will have to zoom in on that. I'm taking the course on Monday. Well, excellent. Well, then you will find out on Monday what those are. Richard, can you confirm the book and the version, please? You mean the manual for the prop? There is a new manual that just came out for prop and platinum. So yes, there is a new manual that just came out for prop and platinum, and you need to contact client services about that. Okay. The rules, principles are the same, and they are now introducing the in the smart charts. You will have the signals which will help you trade. I won't cover that today. I'll talk about it next Friday a little bit, but I'm sure the Grant will talk about it next week as well. Okay. Right, so prop checklist. Okay, so I'll just go to this AUD New Zealand and analyze it for you in a larger time frame. Unless, if you guys have got any questions, please ask. Please ask. I will go. I was keen to talk about that. That's why I went straight here. But I'll just go to monthly so we can see. On monthly, it's a funny one because US 30, can you analyze US 30? I'm not quite sure what you mean US 30, please, Tina. We are talking foreign exchange currencies here only. We are not trading. Yeah, we are not trading indices or commodities. We are only trading currency pairs. So US, it's flashing. Yes, it might be, but it's not a currency pair. So we are not trading those. This course is specifically designed for currency pairs. Okay, thanks. So if we go back to now AUD New Zealand. We can actually I'll draw some horizontals in here because this was the lowest point for quite some time. You can go higher, and then we can see the Aussie has depreciated against Kiwi quite substantially in the last few months, but then that's going back. So just draw my all-time Fibonacci, okay, and see how that has been respected. So in here we see quite a lot of respect for that. In here we see it has been. So I'm pretty comfortable that that's a good way to look at horizontals. Not the only way, of course, but a good way. Then well, we could draw. Well, actually, I'll draw the. I'll do that. That's not quite relevant for us at the moment, so I'll take that out. Oops, sorry. I'll go the other way. And if we draw one like that, oh, we said that wasn't relevant. Okay. Delete. If we go from here, no. I normally just draw a trend line, but sometimes those channels are useful. Okay, because it helps you to identify the phases. It's not so, yeah, from my perspective, this is not really, yeah, you know, you could leave it, but it's, yeah. Anyway, we'll go to weekly. So you can see that the price has been, rather than drawing that, I'm going to draw a trend line. I will show you how I draw trend lines. I draw a trend line. So if that has got 2 touches, just to get most touches, and then you can see here we are quite far away from it, but at some point that price action might come back to it. So it's always good to know that it's there, or it's something to keep in mind. Let's see if we draw a trend line from that point. See, that is quite relevant to us. That's a longer term trend line, but you can see that the trend line needs to have at least 3 touches. Okay, so if we go from here, we've got a touch or 2 touches in here, and now we can see that our price action has actually come back to this trend line. So what does that mean? That means that, and there is a Fibonacci level in here as well. So it means that it potentially, it could come back. It could break through. We don't know what's going to happen. So if you now draw a Fibonacci from the last, so in this cycle, sorry, in here, in this period, that would be your phase 1, this would be your phase 2 in this weekly, phase 1 down, phase 2 up. And if you draw a Fibonacci from your phase 1 down to down here, the clusters are not meeting with the all-time trend lines, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's just see now if we come to daily and blow that up a little bit. Okay, so actually, let's just see. Okay, what I'm going to do now, because we've got too many of them, I'll take out the yearly, the all-time Fibonacci, because it's the short one will be more relevant for us. So we go to daily, and we can see this is the latest from the latest phase 1. We can see that the price actually came up to 61.8, which is your golden ratio, and it now appears becoming back. Although this is, and we've got a trend line up here. This is quite a bearish formation, so it's still, the price could still go back up and maybe even break this trend line. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's because of the 61. We can see how this 61.8 level has been respected. There's 1, 2, 3 bars that the price action stopped at. Okay, question. Would you look at a long trade on this now? Or yes, that's right. The question was, what would we be doing in here? It's the phase 2 has finished, and does look like phase 1 is starting. However, this trend line has been broken. So and because we've got this Fibonacci level in here that the price stopped at 3 times, then I would be a little cautious. I would wait and see what happens if the price comes, and we've got this longer term trend line here that the price has come back to. So I would wait and see if the price goes like this, and then looks like you've got a strong reversal, then that would be a sell, because we are pretty close to this, because as I said, you've got the Fibonacci level and you've got a trend line, and this trend line has been broken. So in here we need to wait a little bit. The reason I've discussed this price action is because I wanted to talk about those continuation patterns. Does that answer your question, John? Or if it goes up, yeah, we just need to see what happens. The price might go up. You would want it to go through, come back to here, and then go up at the top of this maybe. When I ask for a new version of the book, what title and version should I ask? Well, it's the same book, it's just the latest version, okay? So you ask for the prop book, prop and platinum, there are two. Let me just read it for you. Forex Trader Partner Program and Forex Trader, they are actually, hang on. Forex Trader Partner Program and Forex Pro. Well, the ladies at the I think I've grabbed this to the same books by mistake. So from the room. So yeah, it's the same books as you had before. But basically, if you tell the lady, a client services, Stefania, if you tell her what course you are doing, she will know what book you need. You cannot hear me? Can everyone hear me? I just got a note from Lash that you cannot hear me. Yes, everyone is saying that they can hear me. Can you hear me, Lash? Yes, everyone can hear me. So Lash, if you can hear me, it would be your perhaps something with your computer or your screen, or the way it's set up. Okay, so in here we really need to wait and see what happens. Either price will bounce back from here, or it will come up, retrace, and go back up. Okay. Beata, can you please analyze New Zealand USD? Sure, Stephen, I can analyze New Zealand USD. Okay, so we're just about finished on this one. Thanks, you're welcome. Okay, so I will go to New Zealand USD. They've hidden it. Hang on, where is it? Somewhere here, yeah. Okay. Okay, we go here. So I always start from the monthly. Oops. 2003. Okay, that's all it wants to give us. I have got one horizontal drone in here. Is this the best one? Yeah, it's got some touches. You could maybe move it to here. You just need to find one that's got most touches. This is quite far from the price action, so I'm not worrying too much about horizontals which are far away. So again, I will go for all-time Fibonacci, and I'll draw a Fibonacci from here to there. Okay, and just see whether it's relevant to us. So does it have many touches in here? Okay, I'll just change that a little bit because I didn't draw it from highest to a lowest. So I'll go, sorry, lowest to, so it will be lowest and the highest is in here. Okay, so now let's see whether they are relevant for us. So this 50 is in here, and you can see quite maybe a little bit off, but there was a lot of stoppages in here, so that's a little bit off. This one, 38, there was a lot of price action stopping, maybe a little bit higher again. 61.8. There was quite a bit of points where the price action stopped. So again, it looks like it's being respected, so it's cool. Okay. I'll just blow that up a little. So now what we could do, we could see if we draw wrong points. Apologies. Take that out. I'll actually go to weekly to draw that. We can see that has been in this big range. The New Zealand USD has been in big range for for the last few years, but it's a large range, so it's really been trending up and down in between. We'll go to weekly. Okay. I like to have it in the middle so I can see what I'm doing. Before that. Alright, so if I want to draw a trend line, I would draw a trend line from here. Maybe actually a channel could be a good one in here. I'll just take that out and see if we can. I'll move that a little bit to the middle so we can see what we are doing. So if we just draw a channel like this, we start from here with as many touches as we can, and then we move this down to here. See, there is quite a few touches. Here it broke through, but you can see quite a few touches in here. I don't always draw channels, but in here that's quite relevant and useful. And you see touches. When I say there's a lot of touches, it means that thank you. Oh, that's okay. I'm in Delhi. That's fine. Because in monthly, that's fine. I'm happy to be in Delhi. We are still going to the October 2014, so we are looking at the bigger history in here. And this is most relevant to us now. But thank you for letting me know, Sebastian. So, yes. So we can see that the price has been respecting this channel, and it's bounced back here and went back up and now came down. And in here we've got all-time 30 Fibonacci line, and which has been respected quite a bit. So and price came back up, and this is a very strong point because you've got a strong horizontal and you've got your trend line as well. So it went back up and then it came down again, and we are in here at the moment. So if we want to now zoom in a little bit on this, if we want to zoom in a little bit on that, we can see. Well, just looking at the bigger picture, we sort of have a head and shoulder in here. It's a double kind of head, which is a little bit more advanced, but that would be one. This would be another. You really look at the highest point, but so that's a double head, and you could look at this point as a shoulder here, that high. Oops, I've moved something, have I? Well, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is your high. Let me just adjust that. Okay, I'll go. Sorry, guys. I'll just. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, cool. Go back to zoom it up. Okay, so that will be a left shoulder. This would be your right shoulder. and your neckline. The neckline is the lowest point between those two lines. So the lowest point is this, and we happen to have this channel line here, which is fantastic. And then the other way to know whether you've got a right head and shoulder, you connect the highest your head with the top of your shoulder, and this line can't be broken. If that line is broken, it's not a head and shoulder anymore. So you connect this with that, and that hasn't been broken either. So this is a valid head and shoulder. Okay, I'll delete those. So not to confuse you. So, okay, so this is the neck, that point, because it's the lowest point between those two. And then the lowest point between these two is that one. So I could adjust this, or I would just, what I would normally do, I would normally draw a line from here to there, and this is your neckline. In this case, it happens to be almost the same as the channel line. So this is your neckline. Now, how do we deal with that? Does MACD and RSI give you any clues on this currency pair? Yes, absolutely. MACD has moved below zero, so it's now bearish. Okay, and in here, you can see these peaks are going up, and these ones are going up. So there is no. Let me deal with that in a moment. I'll just finish our head and shoulder discussion, if you don't mind. So in here, how do we do that? We go from the highest. So we've got our head and shoulder formation, right? How do we use it? We go to the highest point. Okay, let me just draw. Normally you will just have simple head, but in here you've got the double head. So I'll go from the middle in here, and you draw it to the neckline. And this is the size of your then you take this line, and when this is broken, well, let's say it's in here, okay, so potentially that price action will come down to this point. Okay, that's how head and shoulder works. But if you want to be more conservative, you just go for half of that, because the price will not just come straight down. You can draw yourself that line and say this is eventually where this price action is potentially will come if it continues going down, and that's my target, or a second or third target. So in here, the first entry would be when you get, like in here, you've got this, you have your strong horizontal Fibonacci level. You also have got your strong trend line. So if the price action comes back and comes down, goes back up, and comes, this is where we buy. Okay, this is a very strong buy signal. What you can also do, if you are less conservative, you could put a small trade size on at this point, when you've got, of course, you have to have a strong bearish pattern, a strong bearish signal. At the moment, this is there is no bearish signal, but if you had, so you could put as say half trade on at this point, and then another half in here when it comes back. That's quite strong. Okay. Is it a concern that the head and shoulders is at the bottom? Yes. Well, it depends how you look at it. If you look at the monthly chart, it's forming near the top of the chart. Okay, the question was from Matt, is that the head and shoulders, the proper head and shoulders should be at the top of your chart, and the reverse head and shoulders, uh, the proper head and shoulders should be near the top of your chart, so you are selling, and reverse head and shoulders should be near the bottom, because this is a reversal pattern to buy, a signal to buy. In here, if you look at the bigger picture, it is sort of above the middle of our chart. If you look at the smaller picture, if you look at your daily, okay, let me just zoom in a little bit. If you look at your daily, you can say, yes, it's at the bottom of this one. So it really depends how you look at it, and see whether that's a very valid point. Thank you for that, Matt. But it really depends how you look at it. There is potential that the price will continue going down, and you know, there is potential it won't. So let's just wait and see. It will be interesting to see. Any questions on that before I go to MACD? Okay, so does MACD and RSI give you any clues on this currency pair? Beata, just looking at prop rules, H4 shows ring low. That's correct. It shows we have a ring low in here. H4, what do we mean by H4? Please tell me. Is that the rule H4? Let me see. If you could enlighten me. 4 hourly. Oh, right, okay. Okay, you too. Okay, You're talking about this ring low or this ring low? Well, we've got ring low on daily as well. In here. Well, not really. Is this the ring low you're talking about? Yeah, that would be a ring. No, that's not the ring low. That wasn't a ring low either. So there is no ring low in here because this bar hasn't gone. Here's the last already broken high. Yeah, well, that wasn't a ring low, okay? Because this bar didn't break through. It got broken on that. So the points here is that absolutely we've come to this price action has come to this trend line and to this channel, and there is a potentially a good opportunity. It's kind of forming, well, not quite a ring low, but it's a formation. There is a good opportunity that it will continue up, absolutely. But because of this formation, there is a potential that it will continue down. So we don't know. I was just analyzing that potentiality for you, but absolutely the price could continue going up. The 2 bars make a ring low. Not the 2 bars never make a ring low. A ring low is important for us. The ring low is a formation of 3 bars, and it looks like this. And ring low is important on an uptrend, okay? So when the ring low comes either to a trend line or to a horizontal line, it could come close, it could touch it, it could cross it. The ring low is a formation of 3 bars when the second bar, the high of the second bar is lower than the high of the first bar, and the low of the second bar lower than the low of the first bar, and the third bar, the high is higher than the high of the second, and low is lower than the low of the second bar. That is a formation of ring low. So we don't have a ring low in here, and ring low, what we could do in here. Okay, another thing we could, if we draw a line here, no, you could say you had an uptrend by this trend line. It's been cycling up and it's come to that, and it could go up again, but you could also look at it by this channel, and it's went down, went up, down, up, down, little bit up, down, and it could potentially go up. Absolutely, it can. Now that ring low on H4, there is no ring low in here. That's not a ring low. That's not a ring low. So I don't know where you see a ring low. Okay. The train tracks. Well, this is an inside bar. Okay, the question is whether we have train tracks in here. This is an inside bar, and this bar went above that one, so it's not quite train tracks. Train tracks would be more like this. Proper train tracks would be like this bar is going down and this bar is going back up. That would be train tracks. Or bullish engulfing, you've got the bar down and then that bar goes below and above. That's your bullish engulfing bar in here. Okay, does that this is potentially a reversal formation, absolutely, yeah. But yeah. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Hanan. All right. So I think we've gone well over an hour. So I hope that gave you some help to a bit with, or gave you an indication of another way of analyzing charts. And I'll be with you again in next Friday. And thank you very much. I appreciate, get a lot of thank yous here. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks. Happy trading, everyone. Bye. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cool. Wonderful. Thank you very much. There are webinars before Friday to answer your questions. Yes, as per normal. I think Grant is taking them, and I'm not sure whether anyone else, but I'm taking one next Friday and then some in June as well. Okay, thanks. Bye. Okay, I'm still reading the people's comments. Yeah, very clear. Thank you. Thank you. Great session. Thanks, Matt. Thank you. Thanks. See you next week. Thank you. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Bye.